What's up, everyone? So here's our first episode of the podcast, right? There's a lot of topics that I wanted to kind of touch on, but the first thing I wanted to do is let's start at the top, right? PGA Tour. I wanted to talk about some things that I think they can do better as a new viewer of the tour. I never used to watch it before, right? It was something that I would see on, and it was kind of, it was on, it's on, but it's kind of background noise, right? Now it's actually where I'm paying attention, kind of know what's going on, enjoy the game of golf. So I want to see the best in the world do it at a high level. But in doing so, I think I bring a view that's a little different as a new viewer. So here is a few things that I think PGA can do different. Before we start talking about that, let's go into a little bit about the PGA Tour. Let's say you have no idea what it is, right? Everyone's claim about the PGA Tour is that their viewers are getting older, that they prefer the older viewers, right? People that have been watching the PGA Tour for years on end. Usually that viewer is in his older age because they're predominantly male, right? And that's Live Golf's biggest claim is that PGA Tour goes for the older audience. Now, usually, overall, in sports television, you want a younger audience because you want to build kind of the loyalty of that fan for that, football team or basketball team or whatever, and have them for an extended period of time. And then you want them to bring you other fans, their family members, their kids, their friends, and so on and so on. That's how you build a culture that likes your group. Since Live Golf has started, it's really affected the numbers that the PGA Tour has done, but not as much as you would expect, or as much as Live Golf imagined they were going to do. For example, the first event they had was the Canadian Open, right? Roy McIlroy was the winner of that, and they were up 5%. So technically, it's not bad for the PGA Tour. They did okay. And then comes the Travelers Championship, right? They were down 36% on that tournament. So you start seeing the decline, and this is when Live Golf is just getting started. Then you have kind of the rise again. John Deere Classic was 25%. The 3M Open was 11% up. So both of those, they saw increases. And then the Rocket Mortgage Classic, they lost 4%. So you see kind of the dips in areas here where the PGA Tour retains their audience, and then you see areas where it goes down. But what can they do differently to not only retain the audience they have now, but get new people to watch them? Right? That's the big thing, is you don't want to alienate the audience that you have now. What you want to do is you want to get a new audience. You want to keep the base that you have, but also bring in new people so they can create those long-term fans like we're talking about in the other sports. So here's a couple of things that I think that before we look at what they can do differently is things that they have going for them right now. Hands down, they have the top golfers in the game, right? To say that the PGA Tour does not have the best golf lineup is lying to yourself, right? Live Golf does have some highly competitive golfers and some golfers that are number 2, number 3 in the world, but the current best golfers in the world are on the PGA Tour. So that's something that the PGA Tour has going for them. They'll never lose that. Legacy. There's something to say about the legacy of the PGA Tour. I think anyone that, if you ask any golfer out there that is playing currently, when they got into golf, they wanted to win the U.S. Open. They wanted to represent their country on, the President's Cup and stuff like that. They wanted, these were the dreams they had, right? And it wasn't to go win a Live Golf tournament because Live Golf didn't exist. So I think legacy is a big thing to say that the PGA Tour has going for itself. They'd be able to say that, kids want to play the same courses as, their current heroes like Rory, or, past heroes like Tiger or Phil or any of these guys, right, that played before the kind of the people that popularized golf, to say that I'm playing the same course that they did, right? There's something to that. They do have, even though they've lost some of their viewership, they have a devoted fan base that no matter what is going to watch them, right? They will not. They might dabble in live golf, but if they have to pick between the two, they'll pick the PGA Tour, because that's their group that they chose, right? They chose to be a fan of them, which is great. And experience, I think that's something that PGA Tour has going for them as well. As they have this experience of they've done this for so many years, right? So they know some of like the hiccups that live golf is seeing now, and some of their presentations or some of their camera work or something like that might not be on point, but it's because they're just getting started, right? There's a lot of trials and tribulations that they're going to experience at the beginning as they get going. So PGA doesn't have that. They've been there. They have the experience. They know how to set up the course in order to be able to hear everything that you can, and to eliminate background noise and give the best possible experience possible to the people that are watching and the people that are there. So that's kind of the few things that the PGA Tour already has going for them that they can build on to increase their fan base. So here's some things that I think that the PGA Tour can do to try to create new fans and bring in kind of the youth that they're looking to go after, right? First things first, I think they need to create some stars. Not that Rory and everyone else, Tony Finau and some of these guys aren't great already, right? But I need to have a reason to root for them. For example, no matter where Michael Jordan played, you were going to watch Michael Jordan. No matter where Tom Brady goes, you're going to watch Tom Brady, either to watch him succeed or watch him fail. It doesn't matter. You're going to watch Tom Brady, right? You're going to want to see, when Jordan went to go play golf, he went to go play baseball, right? People started watching him play baseball. It didn't matter whether he was great or not. The fact is that Michael Jordan was there, right? When Tiger Woods was around, and he was around a lot, you could see the viewership of golf increase. Any tournament Tiger Woods in plays, you're going to see the viewership increase, right? But that's because you know his story. You know his trials, his tribulations. You know the highs, you know the lows. You know what it took for him to get to where he's at. I think we need to see more of that about the other golfers, right? You want to hear the story about Rory, Xander, Tony, anyone, right? Let's tell us the story so we can fully back these golfers in order to better understand why we should root for them. It's not just because he's the number one golfer in the world, or he's the number two golfer in the world, or he hits further, or he plays the same clubs I do, or anything like that. You need to make us care for the golfers as a person, right? In order for us to fully invest in that golfer, right? Now you do run the fear, I guess, of building up this amazing star, and he leaves to live golf. But at that point, it just becomes of us treating the golfers well as a tour, right? Or them treating the golfers well. I'm not part of PGA, so. Next, let them be them a little bit, right? I think the biggest thing you see in difference between live golf and PGA Tours, the guys are joking around. They've made a big deal that some of the guys were playing in shorts, right? And people were freaking out over that. Like, let the golfers be themselves. Bryson DeChambeau is a great example of this. He's a character. He's got a great presence about him. So now that he's making YouTube content, people are getting to know him better, and they'll follow him, right? Wherever he goes, wherever he is participating. At this point, I'm sure he could do fan meetups and people would come out to just see his signature and stuff like that. These are things that PGA can do once you develop those stars. And I think it's something that making us care about the players and letting them be themselves will go hand in hand and create a better experience for the people that are watching the PGA Tour, and for the people that are actually, being in the tour. The next thing I think that PGA Tour should kind of dabble in is involving creators, right? So you have some of the bigger creators like Brick Shields, Good, Mr. Short Game, some of these people that are renowned on the YouTube side of golf, right? That not only have their own following, but also have very good knowledge of the game, right? Then you have your personalities, right? That like Bob Does Sports, right? They do the heckling at the PGA Tour. The fact that it's not part of the tour, right? The fact that the PGA Tour is not bringing these guys in and allowing them to be part of the experience, I think is a loss for the tour, right? For example, recently Monday Night Football included a simulcasting, so where not only can you watch Monday Night Football, but you can actually switch over and watch Peyton Manning and Eli Manning comment on the game, right? And the person that's going to watch that is a different person that's going to watch Monday Night Football. Some people are purists. They want to just see the game, right? They want to hear the commentators, they want to hear the crowd, the calls, all that stuff. Some people want to hear the content of two brothers going at it, right? So maybe you have, the guys from Bob Does Sports do a simulcast of your tournament, right? And the people that would normally watch Bob Does Sports are going to go watch that version of it, but you're not going to lose your core fan base, right? You're just creating another stream of people that would be watching your tournament, and again investing in your players, and again buying into their story, right? Allowing these creators to not only create content at the event, but allow them access to the tour pros. Right now, if you see any type of collaboration between two channels, it's like, hey, the front 9 are on my channel, but the back 9, if you want to see them, are on PGA, right? Same type of situation. Maybe you allow them the day before the tournament, go out on the course and play 9 holes with this creator, right? And certain amount of holes are here, certain amount of holes are there, and it creates a electricity about your tournament, as well as you get to know the player more, and it gives the creator a rub too, right? Like you're helping draw the eyes of that person, and of course they say, hey, by the way, don't forget to check out Rory on Sunday as he plays in the final round of the tournament or whatever it might be. So do things like that in order to collaborate, right? It's better if they do that in order to gain an audience that they don't currently have, and that'll allow them to keep their base. The purists will continue to watch the matches as they do now, right? But the people that want to watch for laughs and giggles with their buddies while they're having beers outside will watch the other version. And both of them are viewers for your product. It's just you're getting it from two different avenues. So I think that's something they can do too. And finally, think of different ways to present the game to the viewers, right? I think there's only so many things you can do as far when it comes to creating content with golf, right? I mean, it's a ball, it's a club, you swing. I know a lot of these courses now have top tracer where you can see where the ball is going as he hits it, and that's all fine and great, but that's also easily duplicatable, right? Live Golf is doing all those things. So what are you going to do differently, right? Right now, drone shots is a big deal. So they do a flyover of the course. Well, Live Golf is doing that too. What are you going to do differently? Maybe as he's teeing off, maybe you follow that shot with a drone and you see the ball travel through the air, right? Some of the more advanced drones, you can actually lock onto an item and it'll follow it. Maybe you do something like that. They've done a few of them, but like mic up segments to where you hear the conversation between the caddy and the golf player. I think that's great because you get to know you get to know the player more, right? You get to know more about the relationship between the caddy and the player, and then you gain knowledge off of what are they looking at, how are they playing this shot. Obviously our skill level is not the same, but if I was in the same position, how would I play that shot? What would I do differently? And why is their version better than what I'm doing, right? So not only are you becoming educated off the best players in the world, but again, you're learning about them, their thought process, and caring about the player, right? And maybe create some new segments. That's my last point for that they can try to create some new segments for new fans, right? you're hoping to bring in people that have never seen golf or new golfers that, you know, maybe migrating over from, they just watched their first Rick Shields video and play their first round with their buddies or something like that, and now they're like, I'm gonna put on the PGA and I'm gonna learn. You can't expect them to know all the terms. You can't expect them to know, you know, exactly what everything that you're talking about. And of course you can't dumb it down either, right? You can't talk to your audience like they're children, but maybe we create segments to where that shot tracer, you do like a projection, like maybe, hey, this is the way the shot should look like, and see how that matches against the player. Maybe as he's putting, you do kind of a line that a suggested path that the ball should take, right? I mean, you have the experts watching the game. They can read the greens, they can do all this stuff beforehand, and I'm sure someone can put that together. But these are things that will help the new fans better understand the game, right? What is it? How does the ball affect it when it's in different types of rough and stuff? It's harder to hit, yes, but why, right? Explain that in order for the newer fans to be able to understand it. And then that way, the next time they see that situation, they'll remember the segment before where it was covered, and they'll know a little bit more. And then when they're playing on their own, they'll remember, hey, I heard this while I was watching the PGA Tour that I should try to do this. And they'll learn that way. So you're trying to educate the fans along the way, along with creating new golfers and making us care about them. And I think these are all things that will help the PGA Tour get from where they are now to a whole different level with a whole different fan base. You know, involving creators, involving simulcasting and everything else. And these are things that you can still keep your current presentation of the product to please your current fan base, but this will give you the ability to earn a new fan base based off some of these changes. So this is our first podcast. Appreciate you for jumping on, listening all the way through. You know, we're gonna create some more videos like this. You know, feel free to, you know, give us comments about what you think we should talk about next. Any feedback on the presentation of the video, and thank you. Have a great rest of your day.